Hello, today we're going to create a painting. I'm going to start with 9 by 12 oil on panel. Frame dimensions are 11 by 14. When you're packing your artwork, you want to start with a nice clean working surface. You're going to lay down a large piece of foam core for that. Make sure the piece itself has been cleaned off, get all the dust and any particles that may be on there, so make sure the piece is clean before you ship it. You start by wrapping it in glycine. It's like a wax paper. It's very thin, non-reactive, smooth paper. Just place it face down in the center. And I use drafting tape because it's not super sticky and you can remove it without damaging your glycine. All right, we've finished wrapping the painting in glycine, nice and neat. And now you want to wrap it in plastic wrap, which is 4 mil plastic wrap. It needs to be thick enough to protect it, but also if you use too thin of a plastic wrap, it can adhere to the surface of paintings. The glycine will protect it from that, but still you still want to use a thicker 3 to 4 mil plastic sheeting to cover that. I bought this from Uline. You can get it from Home Depot. It's stuff that painters use to protect floors and stuff, but it works. It's a good way to store paintings. Just wrap them in that plastic wrap. And then you adhere that with, use just standard packing tape. I like to wrap the entire thing in plastic wrap there. Cover the whole painting. So we finished wrapping the painting in plastic wrap. This is ready to be crated or stored. It's a good way to store your paintings, wrapped in plastic with glycine on front. Probably put a coat of bubble on there too. If we weren't crating or if we were shipping in a box, I could adhere a piece of foam core cut to the size of the painting, tape that on with packing tape, wrap the whole thing in bubble wrap and ship it, and that would work fine as well. You could also fashion corner clamps out of corrugated cardboard, where you bend with the corrugation to match the thickness of the painting, and then do it the opposite way, and then tape that all together to get a corner brace there to protect the edges. Corners are what you really want to, something you want to be particularly concerned about when shipping the paintings. It's the corners that can get damaged more easily. Okay, we will build the crate. All right, we're going to build the crate now. The walls of the crate are built with 1 by 6 common board. Measurements of 1 by 6 common board are 5.5 inches wide by 3/4 of an inch thick. That's standard for any lumber measurements. I use this corner clamp to keep them in place while I'm connecting the corners. Slide the longer board over here, get it nice and tight, and then I'll slide the other board in to make sure it's fitting flush to the bottom there, so that's in position. The measurements of the board are the length and width of the painting plus 3 inches for the foam, for the foam core, the padding. Plus one of the boards you have to add another 1.5 inches to account for the thickness of the walls. Loosen that, slide it back, and then you can put it flush again. Make sure it's flush with the bottom, because that's the key there. Then you can tighten it up nice. Nice and tight there. I've got these 1/2 inch thick pieces of wood to make sure the wood doesn't slide down. Then you get it nice and flush down there. Then you can always kind of squeeze up the other piece over to keep it flush up top. So you get it nice and tight like that. Now I'm going to drill the pilot holes for the screws that will hold it together. Got a 1/8 inch drill bit here. got it lined up and in the clamps. You can see that through there. And just drill a couple of holes. Just do 2 holes. About 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the bottom. If you don't drill the pilot holes, there's a tendency for the boards to split. So it's an unfortunate step you have to take. All right, now I'm going to screw this joint together. I've got some 1 5/8 inch wood screws, number 6 to fit in. I'm going to add a little bit of wood glue, probably not necessary, but I like to put a little extra adhesive in there. And it doesn't have to be too fancy, just let it drip down there a little bit. Have it ready to hook up there. And then we clamp it. Nice and neat there. There you go. Then I'll drill the bottom one in first. Make sure you move the board over to slide over to the flush. Give it an extra tug to make sure it's going deep in there. Take a paper towel and wipe the excess wood glue off. And that is a nice joint for one side of the Alright, now we'll adhere the front and back to our crate. Here we have a 1/4 inch piece of common pine plyboard. Cut to size, fits nicely. Drill a pilot hole. Screw, put a little screw in there. Oh, that screw. Just to make sure it stays in place. will surely stay in place. We'll drill the remaining. Make sure you avoid the length of the screw going in the board there. Now I like to use a countersink to make sure the screws go in flush. Brush off the dust there. Put back in one screw. Now I can move it off to the side here. So I can glue down the bottom of the crate here. Whoops. Open the glue. And then screw in the